Well, hello guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, we're back with you. I'm Tobani Vumendaba.
And I'm Buhlali Buzani.
And we welcome you to
Refining Perspectives.
So I want you once again to call your friends, your family, your cousins, your mother, everyone to come to the dining room table. Have you ever watched a movie? You know, during a movie, bro, what we see is everyone acting.
Yeah.
But before the movie is released, back a long period of time where we are in anticipation, waiting.
Yeah.
What is usually happening during that time? So that they call behind the scenes. And this is what we want to talk to you about today. So stay tuned and let everybody know that So call your friends, let everybody know that we are live on TV. We're coming back now. Well, welcome back. You are tuned into Refining Perspectives. And bro, just before we segue into today's conversation, I always like to remind the viewers that we are available on YouTube. So please do go ahead and subscribe there. We're also available on Instagram as Refining Perspectives and also YouTube Refining Perspectives. So today, Seteta about the work that goes on behind the scenes. Now, the roles have came back. I asked the questions and you answer. So the work that goes on behind the scenes, we made this example when we were doing the intro, that before a movie is released, there's a great work that happens behind the scenes. And that is the work that we don't even see necessarily. And talk about great events. There are rehearsals that go on behind the scenes where things are ironed out, you know. Now we're talking about refining perspectives in a personal level. Why behind the scenes? Because theater. It's like they have nothing to do with me. So can I behind the scenes for me?
What does
now?
It mean? I think, bro, first and foremost, like way before, like in our first episodes of Refining Perspectives, even on YouTube, one of the things that we were echoing there was the fact that we're living in a society that is filled with instant gratification, rewards, and that means that we are a consumerist mindset society. That means that we are always looking out for products. Now, we're not only looking to consume products, but we are also becoming products. So now you'll find that
we are becoming products.
We actually and that's what the capitalist system actually produces. It produces a vicious cycle of producing products. That can be used and utilized whenever it's beneficial. And I think then, Toms, what that speaks to, it speaks to now what you're asking right now of saying, how does it relate to them personally? Well, a product, how do you relate with the product? You relate with the product basically, Toban, you go to any franchise of your favorite food. When you get there, you don't interface with the kitchen. You interface with what is presented to you. So the appeal as the finished product is more important than the appeal of the behind the scenes.
I don't care what is happening behind the scenes. We can't mention franchises. I don't care what's happening in that restaurant. All I care about is it presentable when it comes to me.
Exactly. Is it presentable when it comes to me, and does it come at my convenience? And does it come at my, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're saying, bro, because then that speaks to then coming exactly to the question I was asking, how does it then correlate with me personally?
Yeah.
Because then what I only care about in a product, is it convenient for me?
Yeah.
Does it do what I want it to do? And does it look the way that I want it to look?
Yeah.
So now, as people, if you have said that we have become products, then this is why we care so much about what is happening externally, what people can see, how we can present ourselves, and sometimes not necessarily being true to what is happening behind the scenes. Now, I'm just thinking to myself the detriment that does. Because take again the example that you have made, the analogy of a restaurant. We know of claims and sometimes trouble that certain franchises that they've heard because what was presented looked good, but someone saw what was happening behind the scenes, and they was like, I can't eat this. This cannot be it, because they saw what was happening behind the scenes. And then that even speaks to why we are usually advised to go to, don't be too addicted to fast food, because what goes on behind the scenes does not produce the healthiest products.
Bro. Like you even go like with regards to your meat industry, you know, there by meat there are additives that are added to make the meat more appealing. And now because it appeals to us, we buy it, but we do not know that it creates in us cancerous cells and all of that.
And look, there are certain products that we're even told between till otherwise. Because of all those preservatives and everything.
Absolutely. So perhaps, bro, then we come to realize why there will be industry regulations like with regards to a restaurant. We'll come back to
the personal.
The personal. But we're just trying to say there are industry regulations that ensure that ethics are practiced behind the scenes to ensure that though the end user will experience the product, it's at the benefit of the end user anyway. So perhaps what are we trying to say, Tobani, on a personal level? As human beings, before there are external norms and customs we should abide by, and external emphasis in terms of who we are,
how we look and everything.
Inwardly, we have a responsibility to carry out principles and values that can be lived outwardly.
And we need to be able to become those kind of people who will allow the behind the scenes to take place ngehlobo lwayo, ngexesha layo, so that the end product, let me go back to the analogy, is healthy. Food that takes time, food that you eat at home takes time to prepare, unlike the one that you'll go to a restaurant and get it now. Because the reason why is because the behind the scenes is proper and it takes time. Now, I think this then will speak to that will touch on what we started with when we were beginning, instant gratification. Because what instant gratification has robbed us of, social media has robbed us of, is ukuba sikwazi to be in the work of behind the scenes and enjoy behind the scenes. What am I talking about? If, for instance, today, maybe let me make an example of the detriment of social media for someone who did not watch the first episode. Social media says, you are starting today, post it. It's premature, you've barely done any work. There are so many things, flaws that you could have fixed behind the scenes, but we have been trained by social media that if it's not Instagram, it did not happen. So you post it prematurely. Then now the difficulties, they come. And now they come ube uthe ndla phambi kwabantu bonke.
And when it comes with that being said, the expectation that you set ebantwini was an expectation ba lento seyiphelele seyigqibekile. Now you find yourself handling two types of pressures. The pressures of dealing with the problems that are really there, and the pressure of really maintaining the standard that people think of
perceived. What you're talking, we've recently talked about this, because it really puts unnecessary pressure on you. Exactly as you said, because, and maybe this is the reason why today, Mbukele Kai, we have high levels of depression.
Absolutely.
Because we're trying to maintain on two levels. Trying to maintain a standard that sometimes doesn't even exist on social media, trying to portray ourselves, but all is well, all is doing well. We came out prematurely. We should have allowed ourselves to wait things out. Get Kashalaz, and then we come and say, here I am.
The greatest guy we both like, and we love so much, you know, the greatest guy we like, he says, count the cost. Yeah, bro. Before you start building. And that's a wise builder. And what does that mean? That means, Tobs, like, hey guys, now I'm Bugele Kai.
Without counting the cost.
Without counting the cost. And I know it's difficult, yeah, bro.
Sure.
But, like, my brother will always say even that some lessons are expensive.
Yeah.
You will pay, for some lessons that you
jumping.
For jumping in.
Without actually staying behind the
scenes and really see things through. First work out a business.
Sure.
Like for example, I for one, guys, I've got a confession. I know that like we're about to go to Edinburgh, but I carry in my wallet, I carry business cards of things that didn't work, companies that are open, with bank accounts, but the pay is valid as a bank accounts, and that's because not because I went and rushed onto social media, but it's because I registered a business, without proving a business case.
Can this actually work?
Is this really a business that's
what you're talking about is something that we all know as young people. Many of us, we have 7 businesses registered, but akhona one that is operational. CEO, directors, Facebook and LinkedIn directors,
but
no work.
No cash flow, nothing in the bank account.
Oh. Now, we find ourselves, because social media has again put us in that corner, but we see whereas the business that we see Facebook does not actually materialize to actually provide for you the standard that you have portrayed.
Exactly.
Now you have to maintain that. Then depression comes. You find yourself hey, man kunzima.
And because now short. And we are going to go into
the second segment.
But before we go, like we are here to refine each other's perspective, and also when I'm Bugeli, to say that no man, Msebenzi, I go delivery. Msebenzi is behind the scenes.
Let's make an example of the delivery services that we have now.
The
reason why we're still fighting, as much as we love to have things instantly delivered, the reason why you will not order something now and get it now is because in order for it to be real, manufacturing that happens behind the scenes. Because if
exactly.
So there is an importance of the work that goes on behind the scenes. And perhaps after the break, we're going to be talking about the importance of exactly the work that goes on behind the scenes. So Mbugeli, stay tuned. And when we come back, please do come back with us.
In a world where there's so much information, do we know what shapes our ideas? Join Lebo and Buhlayo on Refining Perspectives exclusive, talking leadership and more on Tuesdays on Radio 537.
Well, welcome back, guys, to yet another episode of Refining Perspectives, another segment. Bro, here we're talking about now the importance of the behind the scenes work. But I want us just to move back a bit, man. CT, some of the implications, because you spoke about depression, and depression being a state where like mentally you're breaking down and you feel alone. There's a lot of other feelings that come with depression, which has a lot to do with mental health, and like we are really aware of that.
Yes.
And we really, as city who goes through
depression, that's like, all that there is to it.
There's a lot more that goes to it, and a lot that contributes to depression.
That.
But what we're saying now is to say, like when you're constantly in pursuit of delivery, outward appearance, how people see you, maintaining and upholding standards that are false.
A certain persona.
Yes, and by false I mean standards that are not in direct alignment with who you are, or your current reality. Because sometimes with people, Tobani, we create bubbles. And I say this between you and I because we've been saying about who are visionaries, people who have ideas. But sometimes we're able to live in ideas that are absent of the reality.
The reality to such a point that you are not intact with what is happening now. You are so much of a visionary that you can't come with, okay, fine, this is where I am now, and this is what I'm capable to do now. So let me do what I can do now, rather than acting like some kind of a hero who can do everything. Because the current reality does not allow me.
Bro, and perhaps, bro, like one of the virtues, like I say virtues, because we need to start looking internally as people. When we think of our success, because all of us are like to think that but we want to become the best. That
in a room full of 1 million people, we say, who wants to be successful? Everyone will raise their hands.
But the route to that has a lot to do with us getting to be intact with our reality. What that does, Tobani, it makes us humble in the process.
And I think, bro, sorry to cut you off, it goes back to exactly even what we were talking about last week. Being there for yourself. Because then when you get to that, I don't think that you can be utterly detached from reality if you are intact with who you are as a person, and you are not chasing some facade. They must see me as this person.
Exactly.
When you are content with yourself, in reality, as much as you may be a visionary, you acknowledge it. I'm not saying you accept it, but you acknowledge this is where I am now. And then you come out of where you are now and you walk into where you want to be.
You become bold, because Tobani, like, it's not about where we come from. It's about where we are going. And where we are going has a lot to do with who we are now, who we choose to be now.
You know, another psychologist said, the way that we perceive the world is shaped by the way that we perceive ourselves and what we are aiming towards.
Exactly. Because what you're aiming towards will have a lot to do with who you are, what you're embracing now, what you're putting in. And we said diet earlier on as well. And maybe just to lean on to what is the importance of what we are talking about. It is to say that now, if Tobani Dimbushali, I don't express value from within, I'll always conform to what is outwardly there. And what do I mean by this? As people, like in the process, Tobani, there's a lot that is cultivated internally. Hey, if for JKP character, but uzibone so ngumntu humble, uzibone so ngumntu who's open-minded, uzibone so ngumntu who's disciplined, someone who has respect.
And that's all for the other work people that happens behind the scenes.
Story or the narrative of the iceberg, only the tip of the iceberg. But
was visible.
But the Titanic sank because of the depth of the iceberg. And that speaks to the depth of our characters. How much emphasis do we put in who we are? Even abazali bethu xa besikhulisa singabantwana babo, where is the emphasis? Is the emphasis on
developing the character of this child, the values that they behold.
The education system of today is so focused on developing products of the capitalist system instead of developing children who have virtues, who have values. Do you get what I'm saying?
We're finding ourselves now in a position where we don't value what you have exactly talked about. You know, growing in character, because our society in a way has kind of told us that the work that happens behind the scene doesn't matter. To such a point that we saw as an overnight success. But the danger of your overnight success is that also the downfall becomes overnight as well. That's why today it's so easy to have a celebrity that we see, wow, they're living there, and then their downfall, their character, because the work that was supposed to be done behind the scenes, that opportunity was never cherished. And this then speaks to maybe what we're always talking about, getting to know yourself, finding your purpose and your identity. Once you find it, you can't rush and say, now I'm going to fulfill it. They must see me. Now I'm going to be the guy. You are going to be surprised. Some of the work needs to happen while no one knows you. Some of the pruning, so that when you come out, they might say,
where was this person?
This is the gold. In it, I think we are quick to reveal ourselves as bronze. Singeko fully prepared, singeka rough as we are, and we reveal ourselves. And then we wonder, why are we easily rejected? Because everyone wants something that is of value. So when the gold that is refined comes to the scene, about that are raw, they are put aside, and that's justifiable, because now if you go to a jewelry shop, you're not going to buy some dirty stone or rock. You are going to buy something that is what? Refined. So we really perhaps need to work on ourselves.
And I really think it's a pity, because bro, like whenever sees La Tatina, or the expense of who we are, for whatever outward thing, it's like single our dreams. Like it's like we let go of our future, and all of these instant rewards that may be there are temporary.
They're temporary.
Like, for me, I don't have a problem. Like, you can start something today and you can post it for people to share your business. That's great, Make sure your intention is that.
Exactly.
Make sure your intention is not for people to congratulate you. Make sure your intention is not for people to validate the work that, because most of the validation, it takes place behind the scenes.
Again, to make another biblical reference, David says, I was in the field and I killed the bear and I killed a lion. No one saw him when he was doing that. No one saw him. So uthi xa ifika phambi esithi uba suka wena hayi kodini man khawugoduka ubuyele kutate. But he says, I can't be able to do that. He is validated within himself.
Imagine, the king says to him, put on that armor. And
it's not me.
It's not him. So a huge part of knowing who you are has a lot to do with the battles that you conquer in your corner.
Maybe, bro, the reason why we sell out is because we never knew who we are. We never knew our purpose. We never knew the value that we have. We never took enough time behind the scenes to know what, even when someone offers me what, in order for you to actually succeed, wear this armor and then you're going to succeed. For us to be able to say no, it needs the work that happens behind the scenes.
And perhaps, Tobani, that then begs the question of what is the pain threshold of our generation? Because with regards to that, it's like we're a generation that doesn't want to experience pain. Like Tina, we think pain and suffering are not meant to be felt. If you experience pain and suffering, no.
It's wrong. That's the wrong path. The universe is against you.
The universe is against you. And it's an opportunity to blame everyone. And everything.
That's an opportunity for you to grow. That's an opportunity for you to learn. Instead of saying, it's because of so and so. What can I learn from this? Maybe in closing, what we're trying to say, Mbukelekai, maybe you have a great dream. Maybe, in fact, let's not say maybe. What we always say, there's a purpose. You're not here by mistake.
Absolutely.
But for you to really live out that, and live it out to, a way that you'll be you will be effective.
Yeah.
Allow the work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Even if people don't know you.
Yeah.
Give your best.
And
do your best.
Understand that it's going to take discipline. It's going to take courage. It's going to take boldness. It's going to take resilience. It's going to take resilience in the sense of, Toban, you will fail. You will experience setbacks. You will be betrayed.
Exactly.
You will experience all those horrible things, disappointments from people that you've trusted.
But
you must still remain convicted, because Toban, when you figure and it's a glitz and the glam, you will become as raw as you are. Like we attribute like such successes to abantu abafana nozosbini, like that were there. Perfect example of umdu ewayisuka Eastern Cape, but kangayishiye land siyakolisi as well. You experience a guy from PE, as much as he's the captain of the Springboks. So what are we trying to say, Toban? We need to get to a point where we are not defined by the office, but we get to the office and
define it. Wow. Well, Mbugele Kaya, please, man, let's continue to engage wherever you can find us on social media. On Instagram, I'm Tobani Vumindaba, and of course, we are Refining Perspectives. Instagram, funding.
Hey guys, yes, I'm Kona Instagram, Kona Facebook, always.
And of course, please do follow us on YouTube. This is where the conversation continues, and you can always suggest on these platforms. Perhaps what do you want us to talk about as well?
And also,
in
guys,
the following
thank
episodes.
you to everyone who has been sending us messages to say that even your kids at home are tuned in and everything. Every time we come here.
And we definitely do appreciate all those messages. Your support is very much welcome. So Mbugele Kai Mpulapuli, thank you so much for tuning in, and up until next time, go serve your kids.